Alright guys, so welcome to the Real Deal Combat Sports Show. Yours truly, John Helt, my homie, Real Deal, $1 Million Man, Ryan Bryan. So, man, we had an action-packed weekend, Warrior FC, UFC 205. Man, there's so much going on, my head was spinning. Great weekend, and we're going to break it all down. You know what's been big time now? Big time media.
I don't get no sleep or nothing.
I feel that we need to shout out to Nathan Little. Nathan Little,
you the man, son.
Thank you for getting some real coverage.
Man, the pictures, the videos.
Man, Nathan can do HD video so great.
The sights and sounds of Warrior FC that he put together was just
unreal.
Yeah.
Great asset to have in the community of media. We're media,
yeah,
right?
We're
real media. We need badges or something. Yeah, headphones.
I wonder if he can hook us up. So.
I'm sure he could.
Hook us up.
We're going to get some good stuff out of this. Man, what a weekend. Truth, lies, and everything in between. But let me tell you something. that show up here at R.W. Combs this past weekend was some real deal combat, buddy.
If you wasn't there, you missed out, because that's probably one of the better shows I've been to in a long time.
You know, I have to say too, man, props on the venue, man. It was actually good, man.
It was good.
Like, I've been to R.W. Combs before, and I thought, man, how are they going to pull this off at R.W. Combs? But you know what? It was really pretty awesome, because they actually cornered off sections of the school and like hallways to be like corner of warm-up areas, fighter warm-up areas and things like that. It worked out real good, because usually, you know, like you fight at the Armory, you've got just one room and 20 fighters in there trying to get warmed up. So I thought it was good. You had privacy for warming people up, and you know, I don't think they had many problems with the crowd or anything. They had it pretty well.
Yeah, I think the venue, it just brought a good atmosphere. It was crowded, you know, about the right size venue for the turnout.
Had bleachers. I like that.
Bleachers, yeah. It was a good. Just felt like a good atmosphere. Felt like the crowd was into it. And
when I got there, I seen how many people were there. I was like, man, this definitely be one of the biggest shows we've had around. As the crowd filled in by the end of the show, I was really happy that Jimbo Collins was able to draw a good crowd for local MMA, supporting local MMA and growing local MMA. So we were fortunate to be there. All three teams from the Hazard area were there, and then of course your surrounding area had teams that, you know, Pennington Gap, Iron Lock. Those guys are always tough, and then you know you had had Four Seasons. David Suter down there, he was there. You know, the guy that Lee Spurgeon fought, Nick Rodriguez, he comes from, I think, all the way from Dayton.
Wow.
Yeah, so, you know, local MMA guys, it's not just a bunch of guys out here slugging it out, you know, backyard brawlers. I mean, these are people that's dedicated. Anybody drive 5-6 hours just for a show here in Hazard, Kentucky to participate, that's dedication. That's cool stuff. But anyway, moving on, we had Top Fights on Maddox, Little Slick Bryant, who had a grappling match with a little dude from Iron Lock, and man, that was a hard fought match. Maddox came out on top. That's Ryan's son. How did you feel about that?
Definitely a good matchup. Both kids very talented. The thing that I was most happy with Maddox was he stuck to the game plan that you'd come up with. You know, going upper body, clinching, got the throw that we was looking for. Of course, you know, you always learn. I've seen a few things, I know you did as well, that we need to work on just to get better. But overall, I was happy with his toughness, his will to win.
Yeah, I think he just grinded it out, man. He showed a lot of heart, and the other kid did too. You know, he did what he had to do to survive and not get submitted. And hats off to him, man. He showed up ready to battle. And I mean, these are 7 and 8 year old kids, man. I mean, it's crazy to see how technical they are and how tough they are. I mean, they get. The little boy got thrown a few times. He don't care. He just keeps fighting. You know, I mean, that's how these kids are. For those of you who don't, you know, understand what this is about, you know, these kids are they're really learning how to do this stuff. And it's humbling to see. So Maddox got the win. He got the Warrior FC Youth title belt. I think the belt was bigger than him.
He packed it around for a while and brought it to me and said, Dad, this thing weighs more than I do, I'm done.
Yeah.
And he just reached it to me.
I thought that was cool. I mean, the belt was like ginormous. And Maddox was carrying it around. The center of the belt was literally bigger than his head. But I could tell he was really happy. And Caleb was happy for him. He was talking about the fight, that night, the grappling match fight, and how happy he was for him. And just to see the bond those two guys have together and the way they warm each other up for matches and everything, it's just a great thing to see. So proud of Maddox. That's just, I'm biased here, but he's one of our guys, so I'm very proud of Maddox.
Speaking of that, for all you fans out there of local MMA, Maddox is looking to defend that title possibly the end of February. Depending on how wrestling season goes, the state tournament usually flows around February, but Jimbo is looking to have another show, I believe.
Well, that's what I was going to ask.
February the 25th, I think.
February 25th.
So we'd like to defend there, and then the parent of that kid is already asked for a rematch in Harlan.
Okay.
That's up in April, so it's really up to Jimbo. I'm no matchmaker.
Sure.
But
that's interesting. He wants another shot.
He wants another shot.
Maddox going to get to play it like Connor now. He's just going to just sit back and take the offers.
Yeah, we'll play it out. Have Jimbo contact head coach John Helton, and we'll look at the offers, see what we got.
Hey.
He said we'll put one belt on one shoulder, put one on the other shoulder,
and then he's got some he can put on around his.
You got a couple put around the waist. It's going to take an army to come remove those from top 5.
Caleb's jealous of Maddox. Caleb's just got one belt, dude.
Hey, set that up, Jimbo.
Maddox needs to give Caleb some belts.
Speaking of that, we got a kid about 67 pounds, roasted. Sign it up. We're ready. We got an army.
Who knows, man? Anyway, we're just fooling around. The grappling tournament, I really like the format. That's the first time I've ever seen that go down at a local MMA show. Usually grappling at an MMA show is just sort of, it's thrown together to please everybody. It's kind of like an appetizer, And, man, this is a stacked little grappling tournament they had. It's a 4-man tournament. Jacob Couch.
I enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah, it was good. Jacob Couch. Zaid, I don't know his last name.
Hawkins,
maybe so. He's from AFS. If you don't know who AFS is, you need to look them up. You're behind if you don't know who AFS is. That's where Jessamine Duke came out of. Jessamine Duke was on the Ultimate Fighter, a heck of a fighter. Yeah. You had not Stone Grappling, just an independent match.
Jacob Couch had
Jacob Zaid, Josh Noble from Cats. And then who else did we have?
John.
Who am I missing?
Josh, Jacob, and Timmy Engel.
Yeah, Timmy Engel. MMA fighter Timmy Engel.
Yeah,
he got in there.
So
that was good of him to do that, to fill that up. Card, I should say, the 4-man tournament was stacked, and Jacob Couch brought it.
Jacob Couch, in my opinion, is the most improved grappler. I guess is what you call him now. He's too young to fight. He's from the time he first started. I've been, got lucky enough cross-train with him a few times. That kid is on a mission.
Yeah,
I mean, he is. He's on a mission. He's very respectful. He's super friendly. He trains hard. And
this is what I like about Jacob is that you can walk up to Jacob at any time. He's smiling. He's humble. And he's always willing to bump fists, shake your hand. Just little things like that, to me, mean a lot. There's some guys you just know if you walk up to them and hold your hand out, they won't shake your hand.
No.
They won't even shake your hand. And that's a shame, really, because it shouldn't be like that, but it is what it is. But Jacob's a good guy, man, and he represents the class, and he's not even out of high school yet.
No, I think he's 16.
He is. He's on his way.
And then the thing, too, just to show you the improvement, and stuff happens, you grapple, things can happen. But just in the short amount of time between the rematch, he lost, sudden death takedown,
and
was able to pull out a submission victory.
And actually took him down
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, he
took
took him down, mounted him,
Yeah.
and or no,
Yeah.
did he mount him?
Yeah, I think he did because he was looking at that mounted triangle. We thought that's just what we were thinking.
Yeah, and but anyway, end
He was on
up
top.
passing him out unconscious.
Yeah, he
So
was out cold.
props to Jacob on doing that. That's a good I'd say comeback.
Well, I
after a
think
tough
it's a
loss.
good indicator of where he's going. You know, if you look at where he was at just one show ago, couldn't get the finish, was attacking legs. I actually live streamed that fight show that night. I didn't go, but he attacked legs the whole fight. He was unsuccessful as they kept coming out of him, and then it went to sudden death. They got Jacob on takedown. Jacob turned that completely around this time. He just said, you know what, I'm going to leave the leg lock game behind on this one. You know, he tried it before, and he went to the choke game. You know, nobody can survive a choke.
No, it's
you know,
smart.
that's the
It's
thing
a
about
smart
it.
game.
It's a good smart game. So,
My personal opinion, Jacob Couch will be the name that you need to remember come MMA time.
I think
the boy
so.
still got 2 more years, I believe. Before
yeah, his grappling is already probably better than 95% of the people that get in the cage.
Yeah.
And now when he gets his hands and his kickboxing, his boxing, wrestling skills just a little better, you know,
Yeah.
you're going to have a
Solid
complete fighter. So Jacob Couch wins the 4-man grappling tournament. Good job, Jacob. Man, moving on to the fight card. So the fight card originally, and I'm going to kind of start from the top and come down, work my way down, because this was something cool for me. I got to corner the main event, and this was just a spur of the moment thing. Brian Stevens, professional MMA fighter that fights out of the Louisville area. He's an independent fighter. He doesn't really pledge allegiance to any team, and I respect him for that because he's moved around and he's trained under a lot of people, and you know, I guess he just doesn't want to step on anybody's toes, so he just says, I'm an independent fighter, but you know, friends are friends.
Right.
So he, you know, I saw that he was fighting on this card, and I actually reached out to him. I said, hey, you got a corner. You know, you're going to be down here, and he was coming kind of by himself. He didn't have a crew with him, and he said, yes, I need a corner. So, you know, cornering Brian was an honor. I mean, Brian, he trained with us when really we didn't really have anything to offer to anybody to take them to a high level. I mean, maybe we don't now, but it's just, you know, I feel we were a lot better off now than we were.
Right.
But that was back in the day. You know, that was back in the day when everything was just getting started here locally. Brian was one of the guys out there really taking a lot of fights, high volume fighter, you know, and he actually professionally he defeated Jimmy Browning. So Brian had a good game plan going in and really was executing well. He had Brandon Bell, who is an amazing fighter, had him pretty staggered there against the cage wall, man. He was really throwing fast, hard shots. He was throwing flurries. And he backed up.
Caught that high.
He backed up, and he sort of let off, and Brandon had just enough room in to get that double leg on. You know, Brandon's so strong. Once he got on top, man, Brian was just unable to maneuver him. You know, he got to his knees a few times. He couldn't get to his feet. Make a long story short, Brandon Bell got Brian's back, locked in. I couldn't see if it was like a clean rear naked choke or a neck crank or whatever, but he got it, and with less than 1 second left, Brian tapped. And he just didn't know.
Right.
I don't even think he heard the 10-second bell go off. He was heartbroken, and I felt terrible for him. But Brian's a tough dude. He will pick it up and move on. So
Well, that's the thing too. I mean, Brandon Bell is he's no pushover. You know,
No.
Brandon Bell's one tough guy. He's a freak athlete. He cuts from. I remember I happened to catch him at weigh-ins. He weighed in at 156, looking shredded, and weighed 181 the night of fight.
that's crazy.
That's how much weight he cuts. So you can imagine, you know, just what kind of person he is mentally, what kind of person he is physically.
Boy, he has to be on. You know, he's got to be on that real deal trip there, because he to be able to do that is just crazy in itself. You know, to show that kind of dedication to cut that kind of weight and make a fight like that happen. But once again, props to Brian Stevens, man, Brian's always been one of these guys, man, he doesn't really back down from a fight. He just fights the fight. And good job, Brian. It was good to see you. And hope to see you soon. Moving down the card. So that was the main event. We had Lee Spurgeon fight a much improved Nick Rodriguez. Lee has fought him now 3 times. He fought him once in amateur. I think that was his pro debut fight. And Lee beat him both times. But he took a loss on the night by decision.
2-1 in that trilogy.
2-1 in that trilogy. Good fight. Things that go Lee's way, but Lee does not back down. Lee keeps going. And, you see Lee back.
I happened to catch, I didn't catch the decision. I was walking out the door, but I watched most of the fight, and I'm not taking anything away from the other guy. Excellent fighter. I didn't get a chance to talk to Lee about it, but I saw a vicious eye poke about the second round.
Oh, really?
And Lee immediately shot for a takedown. In the direction that he was shooting, I was looking him in the face. He took the eye poke, you could tell that he was in some pain, and he shot the takedown. And I just wondered from that point on, how did that eye poke affect him? Because the striking sort of changed up after that. So I just wonder. I'd like to talk to Lee just to see, from his standpoint. But again, Lee's a fighter. Lee's coming back.
You get Lee on the show. Lee Spurgeon, come up.
Let's talk, Lee.
But going down the line of your professional fights, your amateur card, I didn't know a lot of the guys that fought on the amateur card. Sutter fight, but he's pro.
That was pro.
That's pro. He took a loss that a lot of people said was...
could have went either way. I heard it was an exciting fight, though.
But, man, the amateur card...
Amateur main event.
God almighty.
Was the fight of the night, in my opinion. It was the most exciting. It was the loudest that I had, I believe, heard the crowd.
I'm just labeling this the kick heard around the universe.
And it was just, I wasn't expecting that. I don't think a lot of the people who know MMA was expecting to open up with a high kick, but it couldn't have landed any better. I mean, the sound that it made, John Helton, was vicious. Travis
Pennington, Catch Gym, represented on Warrior FC. He fought Singley, right? Singley, is that his last name?
Yeah, is it Nick?
Nick?
No, last name is Singley.
Singley. Okay.
Singley, we call him Singley.
Yeah, so this boy had, I think they had wrestled.
This boy was undefeated.
He's undefeated, and then they had wrestled in high school, and this boy took Travis, I think, to a decision and beat him in overtime or something of that nature. But anyway, wrestling doesn't have kicks and punches and chokes and arm bars. And so the fight starts, and shabam.
Right out of the gate, man. First strike, high kick.
Right round kick, side of the head. Sounded like a 2x4 broken on a rib corner.
Yeah, nuts, man, nuts.
Loudest strike I have ever heard in an MMA fight.
And the crowd went nuts.
Well, Travis, man, when he kicks. I mean, like, he kicks to bust stuff. And, man, props to this guy for still having life in him, because if you need to look it up, just type in Travis Pennington MMA, and you will see him do the same exact thing to a boy in Lexington, and the boy didn't get up. They took him out on a stretcher.
Yeah, that was just shows what kind of chin Singley had to at least stay in the fight, and he had enough sense about him to try to pull guard. I mean, he knew what was going on. He knew he was hurt. He fought tooth and nail. I mean, when he landed that kick, John, it hurt my toe. That's how hard he kicked him. It just hurt my toe for some reason. It was
brutal kick, and I think that shows you the kind of training that guys are putting in this locale. I mean, this locale, Hazard in southeastern Kentucky. you've got guys that are really, really hooked up and connected, and they train hard, and they've got good coaches. And Rob Nickerson was there, and Rob is a great Muay Thai and boxing coach, along with being a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt under George Gazelle. But
has to be one of the top, probably MMA coaches.
No doubt. Reaction is just a factory for building good fighters. I mean, you look at Tyler Valls, Q Parks,
Crow's out there,
and Travis. Travis, you have to throw Travis right into that melting pot of their core guys, man. As far as just what they can do to somebody on any given night. So, hardly, I honestly felt bad. As a medical provider, Ryan, I wanted to go in that cage and check on that boy.
Yeah.
When I see an injury happen, I don't care. I've been at basketball games and I've run out on the court. I'm stupid, but I can't help it. I thought immediately when I saw that kick, I thought, please get that boy to a hospital and CT his head to make sure he doesn't have a brain bleed, because it was hard enough to produce one.
Oh yeah, I thought for sure, and I still don't know what the end result
I'm
is for the injury.
still worried about
I'm pretty positive that guy's jaw was broke.
So some like medical stuff here. I'm going to throw some medical jargon out there. I'm sorry if this is taking up time, but subarachnoid hemorrhage, is a slow trickle of blood that happens slowly over time, and it builds up so much, it's become a huge problem. It's a common thing that happens. Well, not common, but it's a result of hard impact to the head. My dad actually, 5 years ago today, it's funny we're talking about this, 5 years ago today, my dad was rocking my boy on the front porch on the swing. The swing broke, he hit the back of his head on the house, got up laughing, said he's fine. 3 weeks later, he was flown to UK because he had a subarachnoid hemorrhage.
Oh, wow.
So that's the kind of things we're dealing with here. Hard head licks. You have Stingley, if you're watching, if your family's watching, keep an eye on Stingley, and props to Stingley for going out there and keeping going with that fight. That was impressive.
Yeah, it was. But yeah, like I was saying, I don't know. Never heard anybody say, but
I thought too, Travis going over and kneeling down with him. Travis is a warrior, man. He's hardcore, but
he's a good dude, man.
A good guy.
Travis is one of them guys, man. I believe he's all about respect. He demands respect, but he'll also give it.
No doubt.
That's the kind of guy Travis is. He's, I believe, no nonsense, low tolerance for BS. Quiet, but now, if you're going to rattle the cage, I believe the old dog, he's going to bite.
He's going to bite.
That's just the type of guy he is.
That's the way he is. And you got to, I think Travis has a low tolerance for drama, the job that you see on Facebook, the arguing back and forth, everybody always trying to make a claim that no nonsense with that kind of stuff. He speaks with his craft. Respect to Travis Pennington. Big win for Travis Pennington, winning the belt.
So this is he wins the interim 185 belt.
Yep.
Jared Short, Viper Pit MMA, current 185 title holder.
Talked to Jared while we were about to walk out with Brian. Still having some range of motion issues with that. His right shoulder there. Again, as a medical provider, anybody tells me they got an injury, I'm doing tests, range of motion testing on them, and ask them other. He had some issues. He had some issues with that shoulder. There was some real deal tests there that I do that you can't really fake, and he was having pain with him, so I'm kind of worried about that.
Hopefully, he can work that out, because that's the fight I'm looking forward to. It's originally scheduled on this card, and it kind of, as far as local MMA, it was kind of a letdown not to see that happen. Jared's 4-0, 5-0, I believe.
Heavy hands.
He comes forward. He throws hard. He's looking for the knockout, but the kid can grapple. So I believe the next show, I don't think he's going to be ready by the Somerset show, but February 2017. Would love to see Travis versus Short for the undisputed belt.
I think it'd be a good fight.
The thing about it is, though, is if Jared for some reason is unable to compete, who is going to step up and fight Travis Pennington? I mean, is there anybody?
I don't see anybody that. I mean, there may be somebody step up.
I don't think anybody can beat him right now. That's my personal
At
opinion.
185, if Jared Short doesn't step up and fight Travis, I don't see anybody out there that can give him a time of day. Not at 185.
My personal opinion, this is no disrespect toward anybody, 170, 185, maybe as high as probably 205. I don't see an amateur that can, at the amateur level, I don't see an amateur that can beat him.
I don't either.
And that's just basing off what I saw and you know, training here and there.
And I kind of removed Jared Short from that because I've never personally seen Jared fight. So I'm kind of saying, okay, I'm taking Jared Short out of this and then looking at everybody else, and I come to that conclusion. I don't know.
Well, at the end of the day, Jared is the champion.
He's
the champion.
He's
you know,
the champion.
So you can't eliminate that. The boy's, you know, he's a fighter.
You got to give him a shot.
You got to give him a shot. But that was just, you know, that was my personal opinion.
Definitely.
Jared is definitely, I think he's ranked number 1 in the state right now for that weight class.
So, Viper Pit has got a big team. You know, I was happy that we had active team. I was happy we had just the amount of fans we had there. And I was real proud that the Piper Warhawks came over to support Maddox.
Yeah,
we
I
had
think
a
they
lot
brought
of people
20
that,
plus on the
we had a little
bus.
section out there for just Maddox, you know. And then some of them hung around because I was going to be cornering Brian and stay for the fights. And I was happy that happened because they got to see a lot of action. But when you talk about just, you know, numbers, Viper Pit MMA, Donald Neese, Coach Donald Neese, has put together sort of an army of
young, talented, hard-nosed fighters.
Teenage to, you know, young adult people who are, they seem to be super dedicated to making each other better and to performance. You know, they about everything they do, they seem to do well in. And you know, we call it like we see it here. You know, we're Top Fight Academy, they're Viper Pit, they're over across town. I mean, we're not rivals. I don't consider myself to be a rival of anybody. But, you know, we are not the same gym. But I will give them credit where it's due.
Yeah,
And they're doing great, man.
all those guys, as far as a team, and I'm not speaking on individual, I'm speaking on team, they're all tough. They're all cardio machines.
Yeah.
And they're all down to fight. That's the thing about Viper Pit. Those boys, they fight. So they're probably, as far as a team, they're the most active that I know.
Very active.
Very active.
Very active.
You know, and like you said, you know, they're holding it down. They, you know, they win some, they lose some, but overall they're very productive in both their MMA and grappling games. So props
So
to
let me
Viper
ask you
Pit.
this, man. With props to Viper Pit, nothing but respect. We, you know, just talking. You know, we're trying to really bring, you know, MMA and combat sports in, you know, in a form of media that actually gets some real coverage, unbiased coverage. I mean, we own, you know, I own a gym. Ryan helps me coach, but we're not here to promote our gym. We're in our gym. I love our gym.
Yeah.
We've got a special guest over here today. Camera can see him there. He's not saying much today. He's a little quiet, but
He's
that's usually how
upset
he
about
is.
the Alvarez and McGregor.
Yeah. And then we're going to talk about that here a little later. But with all respect to Viper Pit, why did Ken not fight? He was
Honestly,
the main event, right?
Yeah, I'm unsure. I know he took a fight about 13 days prior. Fought a tough kid from up north, lost decision. I don't know, maybe if that had something to do with it. I'm sure it did. I mean, personally, you know, I've had wars, and you know, my second MMA fight, I couldn't imagine fighting for another 2 months, let alone, you know.
Yeah, 13 days just to
13
get that
days, you know.
down and all that.
And that was kind of a letdown for me, you know, here in his hometown. Something I was looking forward to. I enjoy watching Ken Beverly fight, and then to have that removed from the card, I feel like. You know, I don't know if that done damage as far as ticket sales or not. There was a huge turnout. But as far as, you know, Ryan Bryant, I wanted to see Ken Beverly fight.
So he fought, it was right on for like 2 weeks out.
Yeah, I think it was 13 days
13
exactly.
days he fought in Columbus, Ohio. He fought tough as nails Adley Edwards. I hope I'm pronouncing
All-American
it.
wrestler.
Yeah, All-American wrestler. Took a loss, but he was. I talked to him at the show. He seemed to be in good spirits. So
he's looking slim, looking fit,
looking lean,
looking healthy,
lean.
man. Yeah, he's. I don't think we'll see Ken at 45 anymore. I don't think we will.
I think probably he probably was just sore, man. I mean, when you look at the fighting and you look at, and then you're trying to train and he was probably really sore, probably had some contusions and sprains and things maybe, I don't know, but.
The thing with Ken too, there's got to be a mental thing with Ken, because Ken again is what, 19?
Yeah.
From the time, I mean, he's been fighting what, slightly over a year.
Yeah, not long at all.
He's had six amateur fights, I believe. Went 6-0. He's 2. What is he? 3-2. This kid's had 11 fights. Okay,
yeah.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, 11 fights in right around a year. That's one fight a month. I mean, really, you're looking at almost one fight a month average. Not only does that take a toll on you physically, but mentally.
Yeah.
You get a win. I mean, this kid's not even getting time to celebrate the win.
Yeah.
He's not getting time to sit back and enjoy, his hard work. He's stepping right back in. Boom, take a loss, and
Man, he's pushing the pace.
He's pushing the pace, and I don't know for what he's trying to do to make. I don't necessarily know if I agree with that or not. Personally.
Well, I think you may be seeing that change right now in his mindset.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's saying, okay, sorry, Jimbo. I know I was scheduled to fight, but I have to start looking out for me for a while.
Yeah, Ken needs to look out for
maybe
Ken.
that's what's going on, and I hope that is because. We don't want to be disrespectful in no way or another. We're just trying to report this as we see it and how we kind of process this. But so what, basically what we're saying is Ken, man, been fighting all these fights, and now he has to back off of one.
Yeah, and nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I actually supported that.
I think, we were talking about that, and I think that he needs rest. He needs to make sure there's no injuries, because that's the thing, combat athletes are very strong people, and you can be walking around with a freaking broke vertebrae and not even know it until you've rested for 5 or 6 days and you feel the pain. I mean,
And Ken is one of the most mental tough fighters that I've been around, especially at that age.
Yeah.
He's mental. And Ken, I'm sure that he had several people had to talk him out of that fight. Ken didn't want to pull out, but he's not fighting chumps anymore.
So,
Ken's high level.
Man, Ken Beverly, big check. I mean, the dude is pushing it, and we go back a long way. We go back a long way. I know his dad, I know his mom, I know the whole family. Ken will be doing some good things, I'm sure, and I'm sure they've got some plans in the works. And so, Viper Pit, did they not? They got Team of the Year.
I think they got Team of the Year.
Team of the Year.
I think Stone Beverly got Team Grappler of the Year or something like that. I think he did.
So Viper Pit is getting recognized. So anybody saying they're not getting recognized?
Yeah, they're getting recognized.
And their trophy case is building. Their records are building. So Viper Pit